What's up, guys? Going to do some work on the C10 today. Going to be putting in the new power brake booster. Got this kit from Speedway Motors. Ended up going with Power Brakes. The brake line kit that I'd already bought a while ago from Inline Tube was a power brake kit. So figured may as well go ahead with the power brake booster. And I'm going to have to check and see how I'm going to be able to do with getting enough vacuum because of the LS having a big stage 3 cam in it. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. We may just have to run an external vacuum on it. Pretty easy kit. As you can see, it comes with everything from the booster. You've got the booster, the brake pedal, bracket kit, your master cylinder, proportioning valve. This is a disc drum setup. I am going to stick with discs in the front, drums in the back. But it includes everything you need here from the Speedway kit. It was about $275, I believe it was, from Speedway. I'm gonna first have to take out the old brake rod that's in here. Probably one of the worst part about doing this job is actually getting underneath the dash to put in the pedal and take that all out. But pretty easy install. I'll walk you guys through it. I do not have to drill extra holes because you can see we've got the 2 in the top and then the 2 in the bottom. Some people just have to drill the 2 in the top because the original manual booster only had these 2. But you put the brackets up there, you mark them out, you drill them. It's super easy to do. So I'm gonna go ahead. First thing I'm gonna do is paint the master cylinder because it's in a bare finish. So we're just gonna paint this black, kind of to match the frame black. Paint that, then we'll start working on installing the pedal assembly, then the booster, then the master cylinder. Alright, so the first thing we got to do is we got to unhook the cable from the old brake pedal. And it's going to be kind of hard to see, but you've got the brake pedal, and up at the very top, we've got to undo that bolt that goes through it. So you can push on it, you can see where it moves. It's just a cotter pin, and we can push that through and then get that rod out. So I'm not going to be able to show you on video how to get that out just because I'm not going to be able to hold the camera and get up underneath there. You do have to be a contortionist to get up and get it out, but we'll get it pulled out and then show you what it looks like with that out. Alright, so to give you guys an idea of how the factory rod goes through, this is the part that was coming through the firewall with the factory rod. It's got one end there. Then on the other end you have, this goes through the rod. Then you've got a nut that goes on. It's a 9/16. That screws all the way down. And then there's a cotter pin that goes through it as well. So pull the cotter pin out, 9/16. I found it's easier just to push the brake pedal back some. Then you get a socket and ratchet on there, pull the 9/16 bolt off, then push the pedal all the way down, and you can get enough clearance to get this pushed out. So now that that's out, the new bracket has a new clevis on it that'll go through. Same type thing as if you've got a cotter pin. This does not have a threaded nut, it just goes through. Pedal goes in between in the middle. Then this goes through with the washer and then the cotter pin. It's a little bit easier to install, so now we'll go ahead and start putting this in. Alright, so we'll start putting the new bracket on. Pretty straightforward. The pivot is going to be at the bottom end. The brake rod will go through. This is what attaches to the brake pedal. I went ahead and undid the, there's a gold threaded rod on this end because with the booster we're needing, it doesn't need the threaded rod, it'll just go right through here. So we'll feed this through, and then those go on like that. just going to throw the top 2 bolts on for right now because we're going to need to test the adjustment on the threaded rod for the brake and make sure we've got enough clearance there. Also, if we have to do any trimming, which we shouldn't, but we'll get these just finger tight so we can check on that. All right, so a little out of breath, but got the new pin in. You can see the pin there. Same type thing, as pin just pops through the brake pedal. Put the washer over it, put the cotter pin on. This is with the brake pretty much extended out. I can extend it even more, but you'll want to test and make sure that you've got enough room to go down with your pedal before you hit the floor. I feel I've got plenty of braking power there, but again, you can always adjust this if you want. It does have a threaded sleeve. Kind of hard to see it, but it's got the threaded sleeve with the jam nut that you can go and adjust that as you need be to make sure that you've got enough where you want your pedal to feel good. So now we'll go to the outside. We'll then tighten up these 2 bolts, put 2 nuts on either side of these, and then we'll put on the actual booster. All right, so now we'll go ahead and put the new booster on. As you can see, the booster has an eyelet, which that'll go and attach to the pedal, and then same type thing with the pin through it, washer, and cotter pin. So I'm gonna go ahead and just put 1 nut on the booster just to hold it. That'll give me some wiggle room where I can go and attach this. I am going to need to adjust the pedal some because it's not giving me enough slack to push this forward. All right, so what I did is I wedged the pedal down, so I push it forward some. That'll give me some more room to be able to put the pin through as well as the cotter pin. All right, so I got that through. Put the washer over. Put your cotter pin in. And then as always, bend your cotter pin to make sure it doesn't come out. Okay, now I can go and tighten down the rest of the booster. I remove the block from the back. All right. Tighten those down and then we'll put on the master cylinder. All right, now that we've got this on, the pedals hooked up, I did check the depth of this to make sure that it's good. In the instructions from Speedway, which were not in the box, but I was able to look them up online, it tells you how to measure to make sure that you can get enough clearance of this face and what goes into the actual master cylinder to make sure that your engagement is good. About 1/8 to 1/16 of an inch is what they say, which is what we're right about at. So now we're going to go ahead and put on the master cylinder. All right, now we'll just put the master cylinder on. As you can see, I did just a coat of the chassis black paint. If you don't paint these, they will turn a rust color pretty quick on you. All right. Put on the cap, got your tie down. These are very tight, so you'll need to use a flat blade to get them up and in. All right, there we go. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to run the brake lines to the booster, get everything up in, make sure it fits. Then we will do a bench bleed on the booster. What I found works the best is going ahead and putting it on the truck. Then you can do the bench bleed of actually sitting in the truck and using the pedal instead of having to try and use a screwdriver and keep pushing and pushing and pushing. Then you can just go, and once that's bled, you make sure all the bubbles are out of here. It's normally a two-person job, because one's pushing on the brakes to make sure that all the bubbles are out. Once that's done, you then just go and hook up your brake lines and then bleed your brakes. So that's it. That's installing a Speedway power brake booster on a C10. And all, it took a total of about 45 minutes. Part of that was because I had to take it all off again, which I didn't show you guys on video, but I forgot to put the firewall grommet in between when I put on the brake pedal rod. So pro tip from an amateur, don't forget to do that, because you just got to take it all off. I do have to get 2 new bolts for the bottom ones. The ones I had are just too rusty, so I'll go ahead and get 2 top ones too. That way it just looks nice that all 2 of those, or all 4 of those, are new nuts to go on there. There you go. You will see, I did put the vacuum over on the driver's side for right now. The reason I did that is with the LS, you've already got some clearance issues over here with this bigger booster. So my fuel line comes out right from here. I am not going to do the coil packs on the valve covers eventually, but for the short term I am. So once you put the coil packs on here, you're going to be pretty close. I didn't want to have to then worry about the vacuum line being here going to the back of the intake. So I did on this side, then I'll run the vacuum line around the back and then into the back of the intake. That is one thing, again, I am a little bit worried about, because I do have the stage 3 cam. So if you guys are running the stage 3 cam with a power brake booster, let me know how your vacuum is. Is it enough to work, or do I need to go with an external vacuum for it? I'd rather find out now than once that's all put back together and I still can't get brakes. All right guys, well that's it for the brake booster install. So let me know what you guys think. If you do think I'm gonna have problems with the vacuum, anyone that's running a stage 3 cam on an LS with a power brake booster, if you've had problems with it, not getting enough vacuum, let me know. If I have to go ahead and get an external vacuum, I will. I'd prefer not to, obviously trying to keep it budget build. But if it's gonna be what works for the brakes, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Next thing is running the brake lines, getting all that done, and that should be done here hopefully this week. Thanks for watching.